Bang Radio 103.6, we are bang.com. My name is Chucky Online. And I mean, this tune right here is a song that is maybe like 7 years old, 8 years old. But this dude actually put a little spin on it. And then all of a sudden he kind of just released it again, and I have him in the building. Donaeo, what is really going on?
Not much, man. It's been a minute.
Bro, it's been more than a minute.
Yes, I know.
How's life?
Life is good.
Huh?
Life is good.
How's life been treating you?
How's life been treating you, Chucks?
Good. You know what? I can't complain. You asked me before about my hair because you was like, "Oh, how comes you all of a sudden you're rolling around like this and blah blah blah." So I was just letting you know that I'm going for a certain.
Got swag though.
Huh?
For all the girls that you don't answer back on Twitter, ladies, the swag is strong.
Where does this come from?
I was speaking to someone last night on Twitter, and they were telling me how you don't respond back to your female fans.
False information. Donaeo, how is you? Enough about me. How is you? How is you?
Guys, I'm going to tell you right now, his arms are crossed now. He's in a his body language is saying, why is Donaeo attacking me? And I'm good, man. How you doing?
Listen, it's been a minute. The last time you came and saw me, which was like a year ago.
Yeah.
Maybe even more than that.
No, it wasn't the time I had an angry rant about my management, was it?
It was the time you had an angry rant. And I remember your management at the time had hit me up,
yeah, I remember.
Or your ex-management, and they wasn't really too happy about that. But in terms of your space now as an artist, how are you feeling today?
I'm good.
What's the difference between how you was then, when I last saw you, which was a year ago?
It wasn't a year ago, it was about 2 years ago. If it was a year ago, then I was happy.
Year and a half ago.
Okay. I would say I'm just in a better space.
Yeah.
Everything's a bit more organised now. I'm finding my feet again, so yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's what usually happens. You have peaks and troughs, and when things start slowing down, that's when you have to get your head down and find your way to success again. Because things, how can I say this without contradicting myself? Most things have a similar pattern, but but the pattern has a different face every time. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's just about finding what the new face is within something that makes sense to you.
No doubt. Donaeo, it's mad because, when you look at it, a certain period of time was like your era, bro. Like, you was absolutely killing the game.
Yeah.
In terms of like literally consistency in it. Yeah. Every single song, and I still believe up to now, yeah.
Yeah.
All the songs that you make now are still bangers.
Yeah.
Sometimes they go over people's heads and stuff, yeah. But what is it like going from that transition from being that guy to having a quiet period to then trying to find your feet again?
Well, the funky thing was like the third time. The first time it happened was with Bounce, and when that happens, it's a scary period. It's quite a painful period because you don't know what's going on. And then the second time it happens, you're like, oh, so this can happen again. And then when it goes again, you're like, but wait, I found it. Do you know what I mean? By the time the funky thing came, I already knew that there'll be a high point, and this high point will get to a certain level, and then it'll go back down again, and then I have to search. So this time...
That's the great thing that you just said there.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that a lot of artists know that there can be a period where it might go down.
Yeah.
And then you've got to find your feet again.
But then you have to understand who you are and what it is. I understand who I am and what I am as an artist, what I enjoy doing, and where I'm mostly successful.
Who are you?
I am a mixed race kid, right? Who grew up listening to hip hop and R&B, but then also grew up listening to dance music. Musically, I resonate mostly with dance music, but especially urban dance music. So, whenever those scenes come up, I usually work best with them naturally. So when Garage and Grime was out, I did well in that. When that died and Bassline came out, I did well with that. When that died and Funky came out, I did well with that. Funky's died and now Deep House has come along. I'm doing well again.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? And it's like, when you find your feet, sometimes it's easy. It's like drinking something that tastes nice to you. Your body's just gonna accept it. You know what I mean? And that's what it is. It's as simple as that. And then the formula to success is always the same. Make sure you understand music. Make sure you understand the platform. Because that's what makes me successful as well. I'm one of those artists where I need a platform. Funky House was a platform. A lot of people think I was funky, but it's not. There was already a platform that was built.
Yeah.
That I was a part of. and I added to, as well as the Super D's, as well as the Pioneers, as well as the Crazy Cousins. Do you understand what I'm saying? When that platform goes, that's when I struggle.
Yeah.
And now there's another platform there where there's raves, there's DJs, there's so there's a group of us now working towards the same thing.
Would you say you're in a quite a comfortable space in terms of like financially from when, you know, all of the stuff? Because I mean, you as PA, and I know you might still be PAing a lot now still anyway, but I mean back then the PAs was just through
It's still
the roof.
crazy now.
Yeah. So like, you know, financially you've obviously got your business in check, right?
Yeah, 100,000%. The thing is, it's like when you, the good thing about the experience that I have is like when I do have a trough moment, I don't fall all the way down.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because there's other things that you need to do that, you know, help you along the way. And one of the most important things is making great music, because a great song will last after the scene that it came out of dies. Do you understand what I'm saying? And a lot of people forget that. And when you, the fact of the matter is, when Devil in a Blue Dress came out, it wasn't about Donaeo, it was about that song. And then when African Warrior came out, it was like, okay, maybe this guy could be consistent, but again, it was about that song. By the time the third record came out, that's when people started taking me seriously in that world, because they were like, okay, we want to hear an album from him because there's been 1, 2, 3 records that he's been consistent at. And then after that, I put out the album, then I put out Fly, which did whatever it did, then I put out Swagger. So now, I'm not bigger than Funky, but I've been able to make a business from that platform that can last after its success.
What did you do to learn the business aspect of the music game though? Because there's, you know, a lot of kids, young kids that I speak to out there that are trying to get into music and stuff. And I think that it's really important for them to kind of try and understand the business side of the music, purely because they might find themselves in a situation where out of the blue they have a song that is hot and that is blowing up.
Yeah.
And they don't know nothing about the music, and there's a lot of things for them to, you know, maybe collect in terms of money and that, but they don't know about it. But how did you find out about it? How did you understand the business aspect of the music game?
Mentors, asking questions.
Yeah. You had a mentor, yeah?
I've always had mentors.
Good.
I've always been comfortable like taking advice from people, and I think that's what makes me win. Like, no matter how confident I am, there's still someone out there that knows more than you. I mean, come on, Chucky, how many times have we had phone conversations for ages and ages, and the conversations are just really long debates?
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
You're always debating.
Exactly, but then I'm learning from that conversation. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I've got no problem asking the questions and learning, because 9 times out of 10, if somebody, if you're willing to show someone respect, right, and at the end of the day, there's always going to be people out there that have more, you know, experience than you, something that you need. If you're willing to show them the respect that they deserve, they'll give you the info. And then another thing about me as well is, like, I'm not afraid of making a mistake. That's one thing I'm not afraid of, because I'll always reflect back at what it was that, you know, messed up for me, and then I'll correct it.
Yeah. You got this new album out, yeah?
Yeah.
now, like, when you look at some of the ways that some of these, you know, big international artists are fortunate, they're in a position where they can just, you know, experiment in putting out their album. Like Beyonce just recently just put out an album with no promo, no nothing. Jay-Z had that whole deal going on with Samsung or whatnot. Right now, like, I kind of find in 2013 and even a little bit before, people put out albums, especially UK artists as well, they put out albums and they go over people's heads. You know, you spend a long period of time putting a body of work together, 2 years, for it to come out, and people just, for whatever reason, don't get it. Why is this?
How do you mean? I don't understand the question.
I mean, like, so for example, you put out an album, an artist can put out an album or whatever, right? And the album is great. You spend a lot of time tweeting it.
Yeah.
You spend a lot of time Instagramming pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
But for some reason, in this period of time, it goes over a lot of people's heads. The album comes out, and some people just don't gravitate to it for whatever reason. So when I ask them, like, have you heard such and such's album? They're like, nah, well, I didn't know it was out. But how do you not know? How do they not know? Why do these things happen? Why do people put out albums and they go over people's heads? I don't get it.
All right. this is one thing. I think if any young artist is gonna hear anything that I say, it should be this, yeah. If I go into a rave and I perform my song to someone new, right? By the time I've done my performance, taken my picture with everyone, they've raved for another 2 hours, go home and wake up the next day, they forgot that I even existed. What I'm trying to say is that you can't expect to put a product out and just expect people to know it's out there. Everyone's got their own lives to deal with. Do you know what I mean? Like, you have to gauge everyone's attention. No, sorry. You have to gain everyone's attention. You know what I mean? You can't just say, put it out there and now people are going to be into it. You have to put it out there. You have to call up the DJs. You have to organise interviews and let people know, hey, my album's out. And you have to do that for a year because it's a momentum thing. So when people are like, oh, I've put out my album and nobody knows. Well, did you tell anyone? No, you probably didn't. You just probably thought, I'm Mr. Big Shot and I put my album out and everyone should know. But, like,
do you reckon that a lot of, or I don't even know what type of percentage, but UK artists can be really lazy in that sense?
I don't think it's the artist's fault. Like, there's so many different. It's a massive problem because this is how the structure thing works. Everything boils down to the artist. Firstly, the first step of making a successful record, because it boils down to the music. The manager can't help you with that, and the record label can't help you with that. They can hook you up with the right people, but essentially, when it comes to the right songs and the right music, the artist, the producer, and the songwriter who's involved in that process, that's where it firstly comes from. Then once you've done that, you're supposed to take it to a label, and the label is supposed to promote and distribute that record. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to be told where to promote. The label's supposed to hook up the TV stations. And
not everybody has a label though, Don.
Well, then if you haven't got a label, then you might as well get a manager or get someone who does understand that. But I mean, like, for me, it's weird because I'm a walking contradiction, because I am a label and I am a businessman. I do manage myself.
But that's the funny thing, because I think that as much as you have a manager and as much as you have these things around you, it's down to you.
No, it's not.
It is.
No, but it's not. That's what I'm saying. It's like, artists are supposed. I'm a person where I've always been like this. If someone can't get it for me, I'm gonna get it myself.
Exactly.
But it's hard to, you know when they say a jack of all trades, master of none?
Yeah.
So let's say me, for instance. Everyone's like, how come it's taking you so long to blow? Maybe it's because I was mastering more than one thing at the same time. Because when you think about it, I'm a very good businessman. I'm a great artist, and I'm a very good manager, if not a great manager, yeah? But imagine if I just concentrated on just being an artist and I had a great manager and a great label. I would be further at a younger age. Sometimes for an artist, all you should do is learn how to make the great product and learn how to protect it. So learn how to protect it from the label, ask for the right deals, learn how to protect it from the manager and get a lawyer to make sure that the manager's not ripping you off. But at the same time, it's like, I should be in the studio every day, 8 hours a day, making the best music. Not in the studio 2 days a week, 8 hours a day, and then Wednesday, I'm here trying to do the marketing and holler at you to say, Rare, have you got, my manager should be calling you, Chucky, saying, yo, have you got the album yet? Because you're Chucky, like, you're somebody that every day someone's calling you. So again, it goes back to the answer of your first question. You're like, wait, hold on. So bad.
That is crazy.
Right, so, like, it goes back to the first thing. You're like,
never do that again.
Sorry, mate. You're saying to me, how do people know that an album's out? Well, Chucky, you've got loads of artists telling me that their album's out. I shouldn't be the one that hollers at you saying my album's out. I should have a manager that does that while I'm in the studio making sure that the music is the best that it can be.
100% agree. The only thing that I disagree about is that I do think that artists should as well build up their own relationships with people so that you can ring. You shouldn't have to ring every DJ. You shouldn't have to do that. But you should have an artist should have their own personal connects, their own relationships that they have built up so that they can ring a certain DJ and say, you know what, like, I got this out or whatever. Because from a DJ perspective, it feels nice when you have that relationship with an artist.
It is, but at the same time, how many artists you know that are organised? So you might want that personal relationship, But you as a DJ also need the radio edit of the song, you need the remixes sorted out, you need the bio, you need the information of the release date. You ain't getting that from the artist. What you're getting from the artist is, yo fam, you cool, yeah? You want a dub plate? Okay, I'll sort you out a dub plate.
I don't always need it.
No, but you do.
I don't always need it. You ain't even always gonna give me that.
But bruv, it would be easier for an artist if they, because I've always said this. Like we're at an age now where there's loads of talented artists that are good at what they do. But where are the managers? Where are the independent labels? Like Sneakbo's manager. I've always said this, Sneakbo and Kreps and Conan's manager. He's amazing.
Vash.
Yeah, Vash is amazing. Kreps and Conan are great at what they do because they spend 24 hours a day rapping. Because that's what they're supposed to do. And they do it at the highest quality as well. They're just not here going, yo, I'm going to Chucky's. And then I'm going to go Sam's after because my belly's hunger. You know what I mean? They're not doing that. They're constantly thinking of the next metaphor. And rap is a hard thing to do. But they're given the freedom to do that because they know on the other side, because that personal relationship that you want from me, I'd say 60% of the time you should be able to get me. But that 40% when I'm in the studio making that record that you're going to back because you love it, not because you have to, that 40% is when my manager's going to be like, sorry bruv, he's in the studio, but what do you need from me? You always need to, do you know what I mean? It's like, I just think personally, like, there's loads of people around, a lot of artists that could be doing other things. And I just think, you can't expect every artist to be a businessman because I don't enjoy the business side of it. I'm good at it, but doesn't mean I enjoy it.
I hear you. Let's play a record. What do you want to play?
My Love.
My Love. What's the album called, by the way?
The Forest of Zephyron.
And when is it out?
Now.
Okay.